Hey guys, we're doing a little buyer's guide today. We're going to do it on She-Hulk. She-Hulk just came out, and even though there's only 3 other older releases, and I only include the Hasbro releases, not the Toy Biz ones, I think it'll still be really interesting to take a look at. So we'll be looking at each figure, when it came out, how much you can find it for on eBay, and do a little comparison. So stick around and we'll get right into it. Starting with our first release is our She-Hulk from the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive A4 set. So that was a set of, I believe, 5 or 6 figures. Because it had so many figures, they didn't include any accessories, which is kind of a bummer, but at least we do have a pair of fists on her. Otherwise, it is kind of interesting because the hips, while they're not the ball joint, they are still a little bit different from our modern hips. So you can see that in there, and you can kind of see a little bit on the other side too. So that's a good bit different from what we would get not too much later. But what is neat though is that we actually did get bicep swivel right here, which is very uncommon for female figures, especially at that time. So it is cool to see. Otherwise, not much else to see here, other than this is a mold that we don't get too many times, and you'll be able to find her on eBay for about 30 bucks by herself. And then a little while after that, we would get this She-Hulk from the Scroll Wave, and I believe she's called the Savage She-Hulk in this incarnation, and you can kind of see why. Ripped out clothing and the mean face, and I think it's a great looking figure. The articulation is pretty solid. While we don't have double jointed elbows, we do have a pretty good amount of articulation, but we do get that bicep swivel, which again is really nice to get. We seem to only get them on the larger female figures as opposed to like all of the female figures, at least at that time. And at least that's changing now, but at the time that's what we had. And she actually comes with a pair of fists and a couple of gripping / open hands. You'll be able to find her on eBay for about 25 to 30 bucks. We then got the same release just a little bit later, and this was a fan release, kind of like I believe the second Silk figure, and it's really the same release, just a different color obviously, and we still get the same set of alternate hands. What's nice is we do get this alternate head of her, which is kind of just a straight face, not smiling, not mad, and it does look good. This one you'll be able to find on eBay for about $30. And finally, our newest release. This one came out not too long ago, based on the recording of this video at least, and it's nice. This is a whole new mold as far as I can tell at least, and just from the legs all the way up, it's nice. I don't think we've ever had any female figures with like legs that are this thick, which is cool, you know, because she's big, she's strong, so it's nice to see that there. The discoloration between the knee and the other parts are much more prominent than we have in other figures, but that's kind of just how things are with the current run of Marvel Legends. What's really interesting is that the piece right here, this forearm piece, is actually a separate piece from the rest of the forearm. And that's interesting because normally you would think that they would just paint that white, but obviously they chose not to, and it's unclear why. It must be that the green just didn't take white paint on it very well or something, because over here they have no problem painting this part white. This isn't a separate piece, and same with our white on the boots down here. This is white painted on to the purple as well. So maybe the purple takes the white easier, so that's not a problem, but painting white onto the green is. I'm not really sure, because this green on her chest is actually painted on as well. So there you go. The hair is really nice. It's nice and big. It's kind of that 90s style haircut, and the only problem is that it kind of gets in the way of some articulation, but not too bad. She can kind of look a little bit, but you're gonna mostly be having her looking straight if you're posing her at all. As you can see, her default hands are open gripping hands. Then we got a pair of fists and a pretty unique accessory of a broken gun. I am unclear kind of like how to pose with this. It's a little strange, especially because she's got like the smiling face. Maybe if she had an like angry face, this would have made more sense to have, but it's kind of strange to smile while you're breaking something, because usually that's more of a sign of like a bad guy than a good guy. But that's what you're getting, so there you go. And obviously, since she's just come out, she is retail, so don't pay more than that for her. But so far, these 3 are still only around $30 or so. So hopefully, depending on when you're watching this video, if She-Hulk is no longer available at retail, you can still find her for about 30 bucks. if that's the one you're looking for. While the costumes between these two aren't intended to be exactly the same, they're fairly close, so you might want this one over that one. Savage She-Hulk is pretty different, so I don't think that makes a great comparison against our latest one. And unfortunately, as you can see, the greens of all four are very, very different, and so that means that none of the parts are going to be compatible with each other without at least painting them, if not needing to do more modifications beyond that. If you like this buyer's guide, then you might like another one that I'll post right here.